Well, hey there, gang. Now I know there's a lot going on in the world these days, but how about for just about an hour, you forget about all that and watch this old guy play Magic? How about it? Welcome to Head Games. Friends, opponents, college professors who insist on making things due in the middle of the week, welcome to Head Games. I'm JetterX, and this week, since Modern Horizons 3 came out, we're heading over to MTG Arena to play some Standard. This week, we're playing Hopeless Pixie. This is an Orzhov deck list basically built around two cards. The first one is Nurturing Pixie. It's a 1-drop 1/1 flyer that when it enters, you can return another non-land, non-fairy permanent to its owner's hand. If you do so, comes in with a +1/+1 counter. So we're going to be putting things down, picking them back up, putting them down again. Kind of like lifting weights, but with cardboard in the digital space instead. Second super important card, Hopeless Nightmare. Best draw this deck can have is Hopeless Nightmare on 1. Opponent discards a card, lose 2 life. Turn 2, Pixie picks up the Nightmare, replay the Nightmare. You're already ahead in life, already ahead in cards, got a 2/2 flyer on board. It's a back-breaking start if they don't have a way to kind of bounce back from it. The deck gets rounded out with other things that have ETB abilities that are worth taking a look at. Novice Inspector makes us a clue. Case of the Stashed Skeleton makes a 2/1 suspected, or read here, menace skeleton on ETB, and if it goes away, it can turn into a tutor later on in the game. This picks up some of the other important pieces. Tithing Blade to keep our opponent's board nice and clean. Rite of Oblivion works great in this deck because you usually end up with some extra rectangles, clue tokens, cases of Stashed Skeletons sitting around. Hopeless Nightmare is a great thing to sacrifice to Rite of Oblivion. In the mid-game, we've got Guardian of Garapur, straight up Blink Angel, has the opportunity to blink Tithing Blade, Pixie, Inspector, or any of the other ETB effects we're playing with. Braid's Arisen Nightmare is great with extra rectangles again. You got clue tokens sitting around, Tithing Blade sitting around you don't need anymore. Turn those into new cards with Braids. Liliana works remarkably well with Nurturing Pixie, being able to get more than one activation off of her in a turn if you happen to have both. Is pretty remarkable if we get to see it. In the 4-drop spot, we're playing 3 Hostile Investigators for the ETB discard and the clue triggering for our opponents. Lots of discard in the deck, so this guy sees a lot of play. 1 Shelly, because you should be playing Sheoldred the Apocalypse while you still can, and 1 copy of No Name Sheoldred for the ETB that makes opponents sacrifice things. So Orzhov Shell, basically an attrition game, trying to take all of our opponents' cards away, trying to take all of our opponents' permanents away. So let's take this over to the ladder and see how we do. Vitellius. Is this person from Pittsburgh? Trying to say use. Isn't it Yins? Maybe I've got my dialect mixed up. Okay, we've got Hopeless Nightmare and Pixie. And we can play it on turn 1 and 2. It's about as good as this deck gets. Gruul with a Swift Spear. So we need to draw a Tithing Blade. Yep. Nightmare. I mean, this deck can put up a lot of damage very quickly. The Gruul Prowess deck can put up a lot of damage really quickly, but we're gonna give them a run for their money. Ruiner is tough, so we're gonna shift course here and blade one of these. It's the beautiful thing about this deck, or about this pattern, is that if they don't play another creature, I get to repeat it the following turn. So if they go all in on the Picnic Ruiner to do a lot of damage, they won't be able to protect it. Okay? It's a lot of damage, don't get me wrong. One more pump spell? Beautiful. It's remarkable, right? Yeah, so do we get out of this? Almost certainly not. We're at 2 life. I don't know if their deck plays like shock or the shock substitute, but let's find out. Swift Spear. That'll do. Good game. Okay. I mean, I get to go Case of Stash Skeleton or Tithing Blade on 2 and then Pixie it up. That's good enough. Wish I had the discard spell, but it's okay. Start with a swamp. Be happy to draw some more lands. That would be fun. Hard to say what our opponent is doing at this point. So do we kill that creature? I think it's kind of hard to... I mean, if I do, it feels very much like they don't necessarily have anything else to do. Let's go ahead and do that. Maybe they're baiting this out. We'll see. Do they have another colored mana source? It's red. Is it Gleeful Demolition? It might be. Okay, our opponent is not doing anything. Okay, so that feels like a case turn. Our opponent's going to draw their card. Okay, so it looks like we're playing against Boros aggro here. So we can also play Pixie this turn. So let's play Pixie and pick up the Tithing Blade. It feels like we're in a good position. Our opponent got mana screwed. We'll take the win. Old gray bush, you should water it. If it's gray, that means it's not getting enough water. We've got Hopeless Nightmare on 1, Tithing Blade on 2, Braids to draw some more cards. We'll see what our opponent's doing first before we figure out the order, but all things considered, there they are, mono red, our friend and nemesis. So they did us 2 damage on our first turn. That is incredibly rude. Why would somebody ever do 2 damage on somebody's first turn? Oh, wait. Look, our 1 mana spell also makes you discard a card. They pitched another Play with Fire. It's an interesting hand. Okay, so they gave us the turn off, so we're going to get our tap land down. Here comes Slick Shot. Do you have another creature? Okay. Or are you going to play all your cards out? Again, it's a lot of damage, no question. I would have loved to have drawn a 1-drop there, but I'm not surprised that it didn't happen. So we need to blade away this Slick Shot. If they drew another creature, we're actually in a good position. Amazing. This is just about as good as that could have gone. So we'll get another land down. We will cast Guardian of Ghirapur. That's going to blink Tithing Blade, which will come back on our end step and kill that dragon. Yep. We are 100% blocking. Perfect. Okay, because I can play this land, play Braids, and I can leave up a Ganjo. Sackling Nightmare. This is the best possible play pattern. I think we definitely are okay with getting Guardian next turn, because it also means that we can blink Tithing Blade if we need to. I'm not sure that we do need to. We need to get in damage as quickly as possible. So our opponent decides that they cannot continue. 4x. You have 4 X's? I guess a lot of people have a lot of X's. Okay, Nightmare on 1, holding up right to remove something. It's it's going to deal with the first couple of threats. Gearper doesn't have anything to blink, so I still think it's probably keepable. So we'll get a swap down, play our Nightmare. Listen, 4x, it's hopeless. Negate from our opponent. Control feels very bad. Pixie feels very good. So we're going to go Cavern of Soul on Rogue, because the 4-drop black creature that I can't remember the name of is also a rogue. Pixie up the Nightmare. Play Nightmare again. Get in for 2. Attempt to cast Guardian of Gearper. Blink the Pixie. Pixie comes back. Picks up the Nightmare. I will need to get a creature land down. Let's see what they do first. They don't have mana for Wandering Emperor, but they do have mana to destroy something. That makes sense. Go for the throat. Pixie gets in for 2. Nightmare for the 3rd time. I was trying to see if I could bait out a removal spell so they didn't counter this. Get a man land down. Okay. That feels a little abusive. So now I feel like if I attack with the land, they're going to... I'm just going to attack with the Pixie. I don't want them to destroy my land. I need that land for other things, so we're going to get the other one down. We'll play this other hopeless Nightmare. Bringing our opponent down to 6. Our opponent was holding a counterspell, so they chose not to cast their counterspell. Okay. 2 draws for our opponent. Now they've got Wandering Emperor mana. Neither of these do anything. Oh, drawing a land was so bad right now. Is it terrible that they're at 6 life and I feel like we're not in a good position? Powering up the land. They've got a removal spell. Yep. And another. They're debating whether they want to use that removal spell on the Pixie. Okay. Okay. Opponent keeps their hand. We are going to play Concealed Courtyard and try to resolve Liliana of the Veil. Show us that. Show us the counterspell. Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you have another removal spell? You do. I'll take the case. I'll take the case. Would you like to let me resolve Case of the Stashed Skeleton? Been a minute since I played against like hard control. And it's Esper control too, like. What does Takanuma get us? Not a lot. I'm really surprised we haven't seen a Wandering Emperor. I actually feel like if we do see a Wandering Emperor, then I'm going to be in trouble. I'm just going to pass. You got another Memory Deluge? Or maybe another Silver Scrutiny? You drawing some more cards, friend? Ow. March is good for them. Well, they timed it correctly, so this Case of the Stashed Skeleton isn't usable now. Hey, we're doing great. Look at this. Our opponent has stabilized, and we are in trouble. They're just drawing cards and waiting for us to do stuff. Let's see what happens when we do this. I mean, I think we take the Pixie. Okay, you cannot counter this. What in the world was that? Target opponent exiles a creature or planeswalker they control with the greatest mana value among creatures and planeswalkers they control. That is remarkable. We're going to get another one. Again. I'm tempted to pick it up. Let's see if they'll let me. Sure. Okay. Yep. Draw our card. Okay. Play our land, Hopeless Nightmare. Wow. Amazing. Discard a card and give me a clue. Ooh. Let's get in. Oh, this is so much tighter than I expected. I really thought they had completely stabilized. I don't think we're winning. Uh-huh. Blot out again. Okay, so get the land down. Get in for one. Okay. Listen. Not on your watch, alright? Oh my god, drawing a land. Okay, so our opponent has to draw some removal. Okay, land. Power up Restless Fortress. Sure. This doesn't do anything, so I'm going to get it down now. Because I can activate it next turn. So they do... I'm not going to attack because they have March. If I don't give them a target. And listen, they have ways to remove. They have ways to remove that. They do. Listen, if I win with a crafted tithing blade, it's going to make my whole day. A consuming sepulcher. It's farewell. Oh, good for you. Silver Scrutiny draws you 5 cards. And you die on my upkeep. Yes! Thai rum. What kind of rum do they make in Thailand? That's an interesting question. Okay, we have great mana. I mean, Novice Inspector on 1 gets us into more cards. It's not an incredibly fast hand, but I think that it is capable. Because we'll Inspector on 1 and... Oh, Mono Red, why do you do this to me? Novice Inspector. Let's see the play with fire. Blow up that Novice Inspector. That feels right. So we need to draw some Tithing Blades, like on the right now. Okay. Oh boy. Okay, so I mean, I actually don't feel like I need to get this down immediately because it's not gonna matter for a couple of turns. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and get the other Concealed Courtyard down. Hold up this clue as though I had an instant speed removal spell. Chandra. Oh man, they're gonna lose both of those Ancestral Hangers. Unless they don't. Unless they have a 1-drop creature.
I'm with the Gatewatch, so you might as well give up already.
Show it to me. Show me the 1-drop. Good for us. Good for us. Because it means that both of those cards are completely useless now. Shelly is not great. Now we'll get this down because we don't have any other play. So we're not in a terrible position. We're not in a great position. Chandra's drawing them extra cards every turn. But if you don't have a creature to cast that on, it doesn't matter. Oh, you do. You do. Okay. Pump it up. Why wouldn't you? Yep. Okay. I mean, I think it's still Hostile Investigator, right? Get that last card gone. They get another draw. Chandra's really doing...
Come on, Chandra. Think of something good.
Wow. Ow. Okay, now our opponent's absolutely killing it. Okay. I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. Okay. Second hostile investigator does nothing. Shieldred by itself does not do enough. I can play Novice Inspector. Alright. This is actually not at danger of doing anything, so I think I just leave up 3 blockers. I think that is the way. So I think that actually means that I Shieldred. So they can sacrifice the Charming Prince. Yep, Scoundrel. No attacks. I have 2 blockers. They get a second draw. Yeah, that's it.
This is a fun idea.
Yep. Yep. So as I can block the 2 biggest creatures and I take 2. Okay. That's monstrous. That's wicked. So when, I mean, high chance I just die here. Okay, so Swift Spear, Scoundrel, go to 1. Activating Shieldred. When it flips, it blows up Chandra.
This went way different than I expected.
Novice Inspector. I mean, they're at 20 life. I've lost already, right? Yep. Here and here. Draw some cards, friend. There it is. Good game. Diogus. Greek philosopher? The one that said the thing about the chicken? Is that right? Yeah, that's right. This is fine. I have a curve. Guardian doesn't hit either of these things, which is problematic. Okay. Phoenix on 1 is not as good as it used to be. Hopeless Nightmare. I honestly would love to draw a Tiding Blade. I feel like that's almost always the case, but it's only when I'm playing against this kind of deck. Okay. So, I have some options here. Like, if I strip their hand, they're not going to have as many cards. They haven't actually put that much pressure on me yet, so I think that is the move. I am going to Pixie. Pick up the Nightmare. Play it again. Now the Pixie can block the Phoenix, provided they don't have something to pump it. They pitch their 3rd creature. Yeah, we're going for it. We will block. Because I don't think they can save the Pixie here. Like, I mean, I might be wrong, but I don't think... I guess there is a antagonize +4, +3. So they lightning strike the Pixie. Okay. Get in for 2. Okay, Shattered Sanctum. Nuke the electrostatic guy, sacrificing the Hopeless Nightmare. Bottom, bottom. Okay. Can we stabilize? Another one. We cannot stabilize. Rude. What's better here? I think the stash is better here. It doesn't give me blockers, but it does give me 2 things to sacrifice to right. I just need to draw a Tithing Blade. Okay. Yep, yep. Get in for 3. Tithing Blade. Shieldred's okay. Alright, let's do it. Shieldred. Sacrifice the Phoenix. Get in for 2. Yeah. I think I just take it. Yep. That might be wrong, but... Okay. Very interesting. Okay, now I have lots of blockers. Alright, Cavern on Rogue. Gear per Shieldred. Pixie the case. Recast the case. So if they've got 2 burn spells, we're dead. Hands up. Double blocking the chick. Yep. I had a feeling. Good game, opponent. Throat. That's a weird name for a My Little Pony. Got a long neck. I don't love this hand. I feel like we take a lot of damage and we don't do a whole lot of anything. I'm gonna mulligan this. This is not better, but we can keep it. We're gonna pitch one of the rights and hope to draw a source of mana that doesn't hurt us. Not today, Satan. Inspector. Well, our opponent's on red-blue, which is a combination you very seldom see in Standard on the best of 1 ladder. So, pirates probably, artifacts. Okay. We'll get down this Tithing Blade, hurting ourselves again. It's important to keep things like Enthusiastic Mechanaut off the board. I might be worried about hasty threats. That thing is super cool and is 100% gonna get destroyed. Yeah, that's okay, actually. I would have liked to have cast more than 1 thing, but it's okay that we're not. We are going to I'm debating whether I sacrifice the creature or the artifact. Because the creature's not really doing a whole heck of a lot, but I can blink the creature later, so... If our opponent plays another creature, we've got Girapur to blink the Tithing Blade. It feels like our opponent must be a creature-based artifact deck. Ill-timed Explosion? Cool. Yeah, Ill-timed Explosion is cool for that reason. Alright. Inspector again. We're going to go ahead and draw. And get in. So I will take another untapped land, please and thank you. Synthesizer. So it feels a little like our opponent is holding up a counterspell. So let's get in. I think we're going to play Braids here. Like, obviously, Synthesizers. This trigger more than once each turn. Whenever another artifact with mana value 3 or greater enters. I can kill more than one creature. I'm going to play Braids. See if they've got a counterspell. So these Novice Inspectors have done their job. Unless they've got a removal spell here. Yeah, these Novice Inspectors have done their job. Yep. That doesn't trigger it. Okay, but the next thing they cast is going to trigger it. Yep. You got it. So I don't think that they can... Oh boy. Well, that's a little annoying. I didn't draw an untapped land. It's a little annoying. Okay, so... Tithing Blade. Very interesting. Tithing Blade. Tap down Braids. Attack with Novice Inspector. Would you like to sacrifice an artifact? Okay, next turn I get to play multiple cards. Well, I guess I played 2 Tithing Blades that turn. We are doing surprisingly well at holding our opponent at bay. Sure. Very cool. Okay. Hopeless Nightmare. Discard a card. Girapur. Did my auto tapper screw me? Oh no, I have 3 Caves of Koilos. I wasn't gonna. We're not gonna give him the choice this time. Okay. Mightstone takes out Braids. They drew cards. I think that was a mistake. Good game, opponent. Octavio. It's been a long time since your auntie's wedding, but I remember how nice you were. We're on the draw. Our deck doesn't do anything until turn 3. I think we have to pitch this hand. Better. I'm going to keep this. As strange as it may seem, I'm going to tuck Shieldred. Okay. Okay. I think I'm actually going to slow roll the Hopeless Nightmare to get rid of a card that is more impactful. Our opponent's playing a 2-drop creature. Oh. It's a very good 2-drop creature. We drew Concealed Courtyard, Tithing Blade to get rid of the Fugitive Codebreaker. So now we've got a lot of hot draws. Pixie's a hot draw. Guardian's a hot draw. Urabrask Forge is good for our opponents. We do have answers to it. And there it is. It's been a long time since I've had a game, like, I've had something go so right for me. Okay, we're going to play Novice Inspector. We're going to write the Forge. And I think we're going to just go ahead and get rid of the clue. Your go. Yeah, so holding the Hopeless Nightmare means I get more clues. Slick Shot's good. No question. That's good for 5 damage. 6. Okay. Gira was an amazing draw here. Just an amazing draw. Get our land down. Hopeless Nightmare. We really drew just absolutely perfect against Octavio. We're gonna Guardian and blink the Tithing Blade. Get in with our Inspector. Say goodbye to the Slick Shot. Yep. Our opponent plots the ruckus. Hostile Investigator. What is the last card in your hand? Is it a burn spell? It must be. It's not. Oh, Twin Inferno. Something you actually can't... Well, casting it on my creature is terrible for you. Okay. Get in with the Inspector. Hold back Guardian to block a flyer. Oh, yeah. Mishra's Foundry eats the Inspector. My bad. So despite my really good draws, I'm still playing poorly. It's great. I mean, if they have a removal spell, it makes a lot of sense to use it here. Oh, that was a good draw. Oof. I gotta tell you, I really thought we were just like, we had it. Okay. So I have some options here. I can start bringing it with the Fortress. That takes them down to 11. It takes me up to 12. So if they draw a creature, they've got some good options there. I think I have to start moving towards victory. Godric was an amazing draw. Wow. If our opponent turns this corner, I'm going to be very sad. 7 damage. Why wouldn't you pump it? That's remarkable. I don't know why you would do that. We're cutting it way too close here. You gotta give it to our opponent. You gotta give it to him. Like, I really thought we were in the advantage position, and now it feels very much like we're not. Wow. We have to block. It's not even a question. We have to draw fire. Have to draw fire. That's not terrible. That is, though. Okay. So do we have enough to activate Fortress and hold up a Gancho? Yes. I'm actually okay with this. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Because the two damage trade was more valuable. Yep. Okay. Draw some more fire. That's not fire at all. Yep. Yep. So there's no way for them to block and kill it, which is good news for us. Oh my god. They drew a land. Are they trying to tilt us with these lands? Why are you doing this? You can't possibly kill us, right? I'm not sure that... I mean, they're in the same position where they absolutely have to put pressure on us. Okay, braids. Are you holding a lightning strike? Okay. Do you want to sacrifice an artifact? Couldn't they have activated in response? Exile a card. Plays a land. Okay, so I can't play a creature. Okay. I think that does it, friends. Lily? Oh, that was such an amazing game, Octavio. I'm inviting you to my next wedding. All right, gang. What did we learn today? I'll be straightforward with y'all. I have played this deck a fair amount, and I have had a very different experience depending on when I play it. I've had times where I've lost an enormous amount of games in a row. Today on video, we managed to do pretty well. I recorded 8 games and went 6-2. Probably the best win rate I've had with the deck since I started playing it. A lot of times I don't do that well at all. We had some very great draws there. Also some easy wins. I mean, there were a couple games there where our opponents just didn't draw what they needed. If you like the kind of deck where you are repeatedly using effects, using Tithing Blade over and over to make your opponent sacrifice a creature, if you want to play that game of attrition where you're whittling down your resources and their resources till there's nothing left on board, this deck definitely does that. The irony here is that Guardian of Garapor is sometimes really crazy, like really, really good, and sometimes just feels like a 3/3 flyer for 3 that doesn't do anything. I've seen some other versions of this deck play with Fortune, the mount that has the effect as well. I tried that for a little bit and could not make it work. It just never seemed to actually get the blink trigger off. But I love Hostile Investigator. I love Hostile Investigator with other effects that discard cards, so really great line of play in this deck. The All-Star today, Reckless Fortress several times. A man land that gains life in this meta with these fast aggro decks has proven to be very, very good. I also love Sheoldred, and even though we didn't win that game, we got to activate Sheoldred and create the True Scriptures once today, and just that, it feels like a win to me. So that's it for today. That's it for this week. Thank y'all for tuning in and watching, spending some time with your boy, playing some Magic over here. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other if you can, and we will see you next time.